Grab hold of Marjorie, Frida. She's wearing armbands.
Let go of me, Kenneth. You'll drag me under too.
Help! Over here, Frida. Help! I said over here. Help! Help! It's getting rather annoying now.
Psst! You've punctured my left armband.
We still have the right one.
No, Kenneth. There's only enough buoyancy for one. Let go.
Marjorie, come back. Come back, Marjorie.
Goodbye, Kenneth. Until next time. Next time.
Stupid woman is going around in circles. I haven't time to worry about her now. Help! Barr! Gerald Tuffet? He's relapsed into a sheep. It must be the stress. But everyone knows what strong swimmers sheep are. Grab hold of the sheep, Frida. Everyone knows what strong swimmers they are. I know. Barr!
And Mum grabbed hold of his little white tail for all she was worth, and they swam and swam and swam.
Where did Gerald Tuffet get a little white tail?
Gerald was so resourceful. Do you ever think I'll see him again, Mr. Fooey?
Well, let's hope not. Jean.
Kenneth, you're dry now?
More or less. Your mother and I owe a debt to that sheep.
It was Gerald.
How do you know?
A wife knows. Do you think he'll ever come back to us, Kenneth?
I was seeing I hope not. Indeed, let's hope not.
Oh, I suppose you're right.
Why has Frida asked to meet here in the rubble and ruins of the hotel? What I want to know is if our jobs are safe. When I say ours, I mean mine, obviously. There's no room to swing a hat.
Don't you mean cat?
I haven't got a cat.
You haven't got a hat?
Well, it's just as well, Jean, because there is nowhere to swing it.
It's such a mess. Poor Gerald. He had such plans.
Old chairs. I think this was a guest. Piles of bricks. And what are all these extraordinary boards? I'm calling this extraordinary board meeting to order. Ah, there is much work to do. And now the hotel is officially mine again. And mine. And some of the worst bits over there, Kenneth's. It is time to be bold. Rebuild better. Make Duke's Elm Hotel, swimming pool, hairdressing salon, garage with complimentary scuba diving equipment section a bigger success than ever.
But how, Mum? How can you afford to rebuild again?
Rebuild? There is no need to rebuild. Welcome to my new idea. Welcome to Hotel Alfresco. Alf who?
Alfresco, Mr. Fooey. It means outside.
I know that, Harriet. But outside where? Since the hotel is without walls, let us turn that to our advantage. Limitless space, no cleaning, and most guests already bring their own umbrellas.
Here we are, Stevie. My photograph of Rudolph Valentino.
Oh, yes, and it is signed.
It certainly is. I signed it myself.
You signed it?
Of course. Mr. Valentino's a very busy man, and long dead by that point.
Did the man who came into the shop know this?
I didn't tell him. Why?
I think he's the one who burgled you in the fog, because he was looking for this picture because he'd read about it in the newspaper, and he thinks it's valuable.
Oh, it is valuable. It's worth more than butter to me, Steve.
I dare say. Anyway, it's our way to lure him back to the shop.
Lure him?
Yes, advertise the pictures for sale, and when he comes to buy it, we nab him.
Nab him?
Yes.
Oh, if you're sure. He won't get my photo, though, will he? It means more to me than...
Butter, yes or no?
I was going to say life itself.
Oh.
And butter.
An Alfresco hotel, is he?
Yes.
But that's in direct competition with us. Keith's Mobile Cuppers relies on being in the open air.
I know, it's an outrage.
What can we do?
We'll fight, Keith. We'll drag Mrs. Tavistock through every court in the land. Ringroad Hotel, how may I help you? Who? Dora Spurtle? Oh, I'll tell Mr. Fooey.
Did I hear you mention my name?
Dora's been arrested for impersonating poets. She wants you to go to the station and vouch for her.
Arrested, eh? Not before time.
She was wandering aimlessly round in the fog, muttering incomprehensibly.
That sounds normal to me.
And claiming to be a poet looking for the Laughing Horse tea-rooms.
Eh? Yes, I'll go down there. If 7 years at Kettering College have taught me anything, it's there's no smoke without fire.
I'm worried about Mum's plans for an open-air hotel, Kenneth.
So am I. Think of the heating bills.
And the cleaning. Those sycamores do shed.
You must talk her out of it.
Me?
She'll listen to you.
She won't, you know. There's only one person Mum has ever listened to, and that's...
Who?
We never talk about him.
Who?
My Uncle Jimmy. Oh, I've said too much.
Your long-lost father's brother, Jimmy, is your uncle?
Yes.
I see.
Kenneth, you must never mention him in front of Mum. I can't say what, but he did a terrible thing.
What?
I can't say.
You have to. It may be interesting. And important.
I don't know the whole story. Only Mum does.
And Uncle Jimmy?
Yes.
I see. Come on, there's much to be done. By the time I get back from my cruise, Kenneth, I expect things to be up and running. Cruise, Frida? Now? Yes, it's booked. I'll sail from Northampton on the HMS Grimly Imperilled tomorrow.
Northampton? Don't you mean south?
No. It's why it is very reasonably priced. We're making use of one of the Midwest's famous canals for the first part of the trip to the sea.
Although don't forget the hotel is famously near the sea. I mean...
Yes, but it's the wrong sea. Well done. It's done now. I suppose I have to wish you bon voyage.
We'll have the Alfresco Hotel up and running by the time we get home, Mum.
Will we?
Yes, of course we will.
Oh, yes. Splendid.
Take care. You know what these ships can be like.
The HMS Grimly Imperilled has a 100% float success rate. It would be ill fortune indeed if it should sink far out at sea with no hope of rescue.
Apparently we can't drag Mrs. Tavistock through every court in the land.
We've got to drag her through something.
We can drag her through the Citizens' Advice Bureau.
Top-notch, Lizzie.
Let's go.
Morning. Cup of tea, please. Customers first, Lizzie. It can wait the time it takes to squeeze the tea bag out again.
With a professional customer-first attitude like that, Keith, Mrs. Tavistock hasn't got a chance.
Did I hear you say Mrs. Anderson Smythe?
No.
Ah, damn ears. Oh, it's playing up.
The advert is in all the copies of the local paper, not just the one on top.
Brilliant. Now we wait.
We should sell them first.
We could take the river.
I know. I'll go round on my round and put one's every letterbox I can find. You're not very good at finding letterboxes, Stevie.
I'm getting better. Anyway, it's worth a try.
But who will pay for the papers?
Put it on everyone's bill.
But these are simple people. They don't have accounts. Only old Major Bump has an account. That's for his monthly copy of Gung Ho magazine.
We'll put it on there then.
Oh, right you are. Gracious, I'm seeing another side to you, Steve. It reminds me of the war, when me and the girls had to count badgers at night. It was top-secret work, I can tell you. Us girls fell asleep, but Colonel Nuts woke us up one by one, shouting in our ears at the top of his voice. He'd said badger counting was men's work, and he was right.
Right.
And I'll tell you something else he did to wake us up.
I've no time now, Miss Titus. I've got to get off.
That's what the Colonel said. I wandered lonely like a cloud that sits on high, and, I've got the wrong glasses, and when lo, I spy a host of golden daffodils
Just a minute, Mrs. Spurtle. Are you telling the International Poetry Society that you wrote the Daffodils?
Yes.
By Wordsworth?
No, by hand.
Ladies and gentlemen, what we have here is no more or less than a revelation. A work previously attributed to Wordsworth is in fact, we now learn, written by Dora Spurtle.
Mrs.
Dora Spurtle, Mrs. This scandal will rock the art world. Just a minute. Hold it there. This farce has gone on long enough. Those are my poems. Are you claiming that you wrote the Daffodils by Wordsworth, by Dora Spurtle?
Mrs.?
No, not that. Those poems, they're the ones she was reading earlier. This is very confusing. So many poets, so many different names. Wordsworth, Spurtle, and, Fooey! I beg your pardon, Mr. Fooey. Fooey. Only one of you can have written these wonderful poems. Very well. I'll prove it to you. Give us a subject, any subject under the sun. I will write a poem of the standard ye've come to expect, and this besom here will try to compete.
Mrs.
All right, but I warn you now, whosoever should fail this task shall be officially banned from ever writing a poem again. I'm willing to take that risk. Are you?
Yes, I'm prepared to take the risk of you never writing a poem again.
Excellent. There you are, then. Very well. We shall now confer for a moment, and select a subject for your poem.
I'm Nettie, the odd-job man, eating my lunch of spam. Now the hotel is in ruins, no one knows my doings, so I've got my feet up while I can. Oh,
hello, Natty.
Why, it's Miss Harriet. What are you doing here at this time? Aren't there the guests' lunches to defrost?
No one's bothering now, what with the hotel in ruins, and Mr. Fooey's disappeared.
Well, you take the chance to have some time off.
I'm going to. I thought I might go into Duke's Elm and try that new boutique.
Oh, boutique, is it? Oh, all that modern stuff. The only accessories you need's a flat cap and a pipe.
Well, that's okay for you, but a girl likes to look groovy.
Groovy? Oh, I can't make head nor tail of this modern talk.
Excuse me, I'm looking for a Mrs. Tavistock.
Mrs. Tavistock?
Yes.
Oh. Do you know where I might find her? No.
Oh, yes.
Oh. Where?
She's over by the old stile. If you turn left, 10 yards to the right, and then follow the sign saying squash court.
You have a squash court?
We have a squash court sign.
I saved it from the blaze myself.
What if anybody ever wanted to play squash?
That's easy. We haven't got any rackets.
Or balls.
But we've got the sign.
I see.
Well, thank you. He looks familiar to me. I'm sure as though I've seen him before.
Who do you think it is?
It can't be. No, surely not. It couldn't be, could it?
Who?
Gregory Peck.
At our hotel? I doubt it. Especially now he knows there's no squash court.
If 7 years at Kettering College has taught me anything, it's how to write a poem under pressure.
And I?
You couldn't even cook an egg under pressure.
But should it explode?
You'll explode by the time you've written a poem on.
We want you to write a poem on
the love of your life. Oh, that's easy peasy.
Oh, he's rhyming already.
I shall write a poem on bonny, bonny Scotland.
What rhymes with cat?
Still no joy, Miss Titus?
No joy.
I'm sure he'll be back for that photo. Remember to keep him talking if you're not here.
Righto. I shall talk about my ailments. They're very popular.
Your ailment? I'm not sure that it might be anything about.
Oh, you're wrong. The man this morning was so interested. I must have talked for 40 minutes about the throb in my toe while he made me a bread poultice. Some people are so kind. He didn't even use sliced.
Man, this morning? 40 minutes?
Bread poultice.
Oh, Miss Titus, it must have been him.
Who?
The thief.
He saw my toe.
Never mind your throbbing toe. We've got to check that photo safe.
Oh.
There's two of them